So, Tom, who is this really on? It's not like the government was not seeing this coming. Negotiations have been going on for a while, and here we are, another protest, another strike in the country.
Yeah, sometimes unions just feel that they have to dig in a little bit, and a strike is a way of showing how seriously they're taking this. On Mr. Trudeau's side, there's an advantage to this strike in the following sense. Mr. Trudeau is under a lot of pressure, for example, for having increased the size of the federal bureaucracy by a whopping 31% in the 7.5 years that he's been there. So that's something that's hard to explain in terms of management. Hearing that the places that will be affected will be things like passports, well, the passport office has been an absolute total mess. It's starting to get better, and now there's the strike. So this is a way for Trudeau to say, no, no, I take this management stuff seriously. Look, they're out on strike. I'm not rolling over. I'm not giving them everything that they want. The unions have every reason to want to settle for the good and simple reason that if there is eventually, it's possible, a change of government and the Conservatives came in, I think they'd be pretty tough negotiators on this stuff. So I think that on both counts, it's fun to follow and realize that this is a set piece maneuver. This is not something that, as you correctly say, this doesn't come out of nowhere. Everybody knew that this was the likely outcome. What's interesting politically is that Mr. Singh has laid down a clear marker saying he will not vote for back to work legislation. Now, that's also entirely predictable. The workers, their unions have always been the closest to the NDP. What are we hearing from the other parties? Well, the Bloc Québécois says never, and I know them, and I can tell you that they will never vote for back to work legislation in this case. And everybody would say, well, then the Conservatives would vote with the Liberals because, this is an essential idea. This is essentially a question of confidence in the government. If you can't run the government and have legislation in Parliament and force people back to work, then they've lost confidence. The Conservatives are sending out a very interesting signal saying, well, it's far from clear that we're going to back the government on back to work legislation. So what does that mean? Well, that means that the government could fall on this. And that's a small possibility. I think that cooler heads will prevail and there'll be a signature and they'll get back to work. But what we're sensing here, that's what I'm decoding, is from the Conservatives, they've been careful up until now not to be seen to be provoking an election. Now they seem to be less worried about that. Their numbers are strong. Their leader is performing well. He's becoming more and more disciplined. His messages, while still sometimes over the top, are starting to reach a wider audience. And I think that the Conservatives are starting to feel that maybe they could take on Trudeau. So stay tuned because these types of things, actually, they get out of hand. Once you go past days and you wind up in weeks, then moods harden, both at the bargaining table, both on the government side and on the union side. They'll get angry. And that's not a good way to get to an easy settlement.
Very interesting, and the analysis for sure. So the last time around, Tom, you would recall when something like that happened, I believe that the strike carried on for about a week. What would you say that a week in current scenario, talking politically what you just explained, is a week too long for this government to handle? Will they be able to handle
No.
the pressure? No. Okay.
A week would be just about my guess here because that is my experience. I've been in the union movement. I was elected to help lead one of the largest public service unions in Quebec City, the professionals union up there. We went through a brutal strike with the Parti Québécois government in 82, 83. And I can tell you, when things harden too much, when you're into the second or third week of a strike, they don't want the union to give in. So even if the union comes back with a proposal to settle, it's the workers who at some point will say, no, we didn't go out on strike to get that. So that's why it's a very delicate thing to get the timing just right. Trudeau has to show that he's not going to simply cave to what the unions are asking. The union has to be able to go back to his members and say, we did better than what their initial offer was. Everybody has to find a way to win in something like this. The Conservatives, I think, in terms of the politics of this, are being super wise and just staying back and saying, I'm not going to interfere. Trudeau's having a big fight with the unions right now. Let him have it, and we'll keep our powder dry and determine what, if anything, we do if we do get to back to work legislation.
So that's politics. What about Canadians who are feeling the effects of this massive strike and the anger in Canadians? Because once again, Tom, we're seeing this is the tax season. We may not get tax rebates on time. Travel season is upon us. People will be lining up at the passport offices once again. And there'll be a repeat of all those scenes what we saw last year. So there's that anger in Canadians too then.
Yeah, and if you've got a family or a friend who's gone through all of the lengthy steps of the immigration process, was supposed to get their papers, are being told, maybe a few months from now, we can't get you right away. Or you're waiting to have a family brought in, for example, on a temp stay visa so they can come to a wedding. This is the type of thing that drives the average Canadian up the wall. And this, again, is a political opportunity, especially for the Conservatives. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on it. The public's reaction to this is going to be something that the Liberals will be measuring constantly. They'll be doing surveys. They'll be doing focus groups. They'll be trying to find out what is actually going on. Those two things you mentioned, and it's all in the same area, passports, immigration, they've been a mess no matter what. Indeed. And the inability to get out the employment insurance checks. So I heard Treasury Board President Mona Fortier saying, oh, well, this is one of the things that's going to be left outside of the strike. They're not allowed to strike there or on veterans checks. Fair enough. But the employment insurance checks, even if you've been paying into it regularly for years, they have had so much trouble just getting them out. If you're one of the people who unfortunately loses their job in these slightly tougher economic times, well, you're not going to be able to get your check in all likelihood, certainly not in a timely manner. So that goes right back to what people are saying about Trudeau's inability to do the management side, the basic work of government. International stuff, pretty good. You know, high level philosophy stuff, fine. But the nuts and bolts of running a government, that's where the Liberals have been consistently failing. And the Conservatives have an opportunity to point that out right now.
Interesting times. Tom Mulcair, CTV News political commentator and former NDP leader. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.